All right. Welcome back, folks, to the FF Face-Off, part of the Face-Off Sports Network. We're coming at you right now with some start-sit questions for Week 5. We'll discuss some of the injuries, any questions you might have, any trade questions, all that good stuff. We're going to hammer it all today. If you are watching on the YouTube, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, hit that bell icon, be notified every single time we go live. Last but not least, not only can you follow the show on X at FF Faceoff, you can also go to fffaceoff.com for all of your NFL, fantasy football, and sports betting needs. My name is Michael Hopp. You can follow me on X at the FF Realist. I told everybody in the chat we were running a little bit late. I said, blame it on Steve. Blame it on Steve in the chat. But you can follow him at Fantasy Savvy. Steve D'Angelo, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I just got in a little late, and then I was just eating before I got in, and we had some Chinese food. This bomb-ass Chinese place right by our house. It's like crack. I mean, I was like getting it was like an aphrodisiac. It was like unbelievable how good it was. But anyway, yeah, sorry about that. Getting a little late here, but we are into Week 5, and we're keeping it rolling. You know, we're keeping adding guys. Hopefully, you guys got some good ads. Maybe a little Tucker Kraft this week. You know, at tight end, maybe he helps out your tight end room a little bit. But yeah, start sits tonight. Big game for the Mets, for Mike's Mets. Also, do or die.
Be careful about talking baseball with Anthony around.
Baseball playoffs in full. Well, you know, the masses love baseball, so you got to mention it.
So, well, listen, he may hate baseball. He might love soccer too much. He's got a homeless soccer dog, but we love him anyway. His name is Anthony Servino. He can be followed the real NFL guru. Anthony, sweetheart, how's it going, buddy?
Doing good. Week 5 starts tonight, Thursday Night Football. We need some Bijan Robinson touchdown action, minus 125 on Bet365. But let's get into this, the lineup questions.
Yeah, we're going to get into that right now. I will just say for programming purposes, only because Steve mentioned it, I did just place a wager on the Mets plus money line. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. I did answer some of the questions off air before we got on there. I'm going to try and go in order here. Sometimes it gets a little hectic. I will say if you send in a super chat, that will help you cut the line, and we'll answer your question. So let's just ride the wave, shall we? I'm not even going to pronounce that name, but he's on X, and he wants to ask us, Roschon Johnson or Tyler Algier, half point per reception. Steve, I'll go to you here. Where are you going with this one?
Unjustifiably unjust.
Oh, see, I didn't even bother to read it. Good job.
Yeah. I mean, last week was supposed to be Roschon week. You know, DeAndre Swift was headed for the gutters. That's kind of what we all expected. I certainly expected, you know, Swift to hit the gutters last week, and then Roschon gets to the end zone, but Swift's the guy that went off. So you kind of expect that again this week with Swift, more usage for him. So I think Algier, man, he's getting playing time. Everybody's blaming Artie Smith last year. Where the hell's Bijan? But Bijan's not really doing much. I mean, Last week wasn't great. The week before that, he had like 1.7 yards per carry. So again, just like Pitts, like I think Bijan's definitely obviously a better pro than Pitts, but like probably a little too hyped. Not like this elite player, you know, that we all kind of expected. So maybe we see a little bit more Algier tonight again. So I'm going to roll with Algier.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go Roschon here, but I don't hate the Algier pick. So,
yeah,
Anthony,
this is a
quick take here.
It's close. Algier last week, 10 PPR points, but 80 total yards, 10 touches, really efficient. Tampa is on paper really easy, one of the easier run defenses. They've given up running back touchdowns in 3 out of 4 games. On the other side, we have Roschon Johnson. And Roschon back-to-back weeks with at least 7 touches. He scored a touchdown last week. And I get Swift's going to get his, just like Bijan's going to get his. But what's significant here, back-to-back games for Roschon Johnson with 2 red zone touches apiece, including 2 runs inside the 5. I'm going, and the Panthers were a very, very easy matchup. So I'm going to go with the easier matchup and the guy who's getting a little bit more goal line work in Roschon.
All right. We've already got a super chat here, so let's bring that one up. It's coming from Vic. He said, okay, fellas, 1 through 3. He needs help. Oh, he's 1 and 3. He needs help. Jeez, I'm bad at reading today. Well, I don't know if you're asking us, should you start Murray or Goff? Oh, yeah. See, it never plays the whole thing though. I fucking
That's
hate
all I
it.
got. 3 seconds.
Well, we need more of it. I don't even care whether we get copyrighted.
More cowbell.
Now, okay, so he's telling us his team. This is his team right now. He's 1-3. He's got Kyler Murray, Jared Goff, Robinson Jr., Cook, Chuba Hubbard, Raheem Mostert, Allen. Wide receivers, he's got Hill, Rice, Marvin Harrison Jr., Shakir, Shaheed, Adunze. Last but not least, he's got Dalton Kincaid in what has been a cesspool of a tight end position. I have a few trade offers. Well, don't know what those trade offers are, but I mean, yeah, it sounds like,
Down here, I think you got it.
Oh, did he? Okay. Chuba for one of Wick, McLaurin, Jameson.
And then
Chuba and Adunze for Spears and JSN. So he's got a couple of things on it. So, all right. So let's go one by one here with these trades because he's got a couple of them. So would you do Chuba for Dontavian Wicks, Terry McLaurin, or I'm assuming that's Jameson Williams?
His running backs are Bijan, James Cook, Mostert, and Braylon Allen, and then Chuba. Receivers, Hill, Rice, Marvin Harrison Jr., Shaheed, Odunze.
Yeah, he's getting wide receivers getting hammered right now.
I mean, you got Jonathan Brooks potentially coming back, but they didn't bring him back right away, so it might be in a couple more weeks. Your running back room is really not that deep. So, do you need to trade Chuba here? I mean, I guess you could go for McLaurin or Jameson. I mean, I would say McLaurin, he's the top guy. You know, he's going to get most of the targets. Wicks, he looks great, but it's going to be kind of mixed around. And then Jameson, like, you know, he's still got to deal with St. Brown. He's got to deal with the running backs. Got to deal with Laporta. You know, he's kind of got to get that big play. So, you know, I don't know if you need to trade Chuba. I guess if you're looking ahead, you know, Jonathan Brooks eventually will take the role at some point, or at least mix up. So maybe
what if it's something?
Maybe
he's got a couple of offers.
Yeah. So I would say maybe McLaurin for that one.
Okay.
If you wanted to do it.
Go ahead, Anthony.
My initial thought is the fact that, you know, initially they were saying, hey, Brooks could come back sooner than week 5. The practice window has not even opened yet. The Panthers aren't going anywhere. I don't know if they're in a big rush to bring him back. What if they redshirt him? Like, they don't need to play Jonathan Brooks, especially if he's not ready, and Chuba Hubbard. And to a lesser extent, Miles Sanders isn't a bad change of pace guy right now. So, you know, we have to look at it from both ends. There's a chance Chuba Hubbard maintains this role long term. So there's your case for keeping Chuba Hubbard. But then again, Brooks is there and he can return. And even if it's a 50-50 split, if they're going to activate Jonathan Brooks, they're going to use him.
So, all right,
it's like, I would want out of this Jameson, McLaurin, Wicks. Yeah. Is there a way you can get Wicks and a running back? Because what is appealing about Wicks is he was overdrafted in the summer as the number 4, because if an injury happens, all this guy does is step in and perform. Green Bay has a really nice, upcoming matchups the next few weeks. Last week, Jaden Reed and Wicks, they both popped in big games. They're going to throw the football here. I like Wicks, but I'm only doing this deal for Chuba Hubbard if I'm getting a usable lower-end running back. So, can you get Eckler back?
I'm trying to fucking tell you, he's got other trades involving Chuba. So I want to read these to you, and I want to see if one of these appeals to you more to then deal Chuba Hubbard. He's also got Chuba and Adunze for Tajay Spears and JSN. He's got Chuba, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Goff for Burrow, Kittle, London. So the only deal looks like he's getting a running back is in the Tajay Spears deal. But is Tajay Spears enough to move the needle for you?
No.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I don't want to move Rome Odunze either.
Yeah. I think you got the right idea with trying to trade, man. I think you don't have the trades that we love right now. You know, if people want Chuba Hubbard that bad, then make him pay more for it. Because it seems like he's in every single one of these deals, so your league mates must be asking for him, unless you're the one offering him. Steve, did you have any final point before we get on to?
I'm having a tough time reading that second one. JSN Chuba for JSN Harrison and Goff for Burrow.
He's got the Chuba and Harrison Jr. and Goff. So I think that it's a 3-for-3 deal on that one.
Okay, gotcha. For
Chuba,
Burrow,
Harrison, Goff for it's kind of jumbled, but I get it. He's typing there on YouTube and
yeah. I mean, you're tilting after losing Rice. At least it doesn't sound like it's for the year. I mean, I still don't know what the hell it is. We still don't know what the hell's going on over there.
Just for news purposes, they did the Chiefs, that is, put Rashee Rice on the IR, but it's right now it's only the 4 weeks. So I know I read that they were waiting for the swelling to go down enough to be able to get a real good idea of what the hell's going on inside that knee of his. So we'll see. But yeah, I would say keep trying to trade Vic, but we're not really thrilled with those deals. We do have another super chat though. This is coming from Jonathan Santiago, who spends a lot of time on here over on the YouTube. Thank you, Jonathan. 10-team super flex. Andy, I'll go to you first in this one. Hurts, Darnold, Watson. His RBs are Mason, CMC, Achane, Zach Moss, Charbonnet. Wide receivers, Adams, Ayuk, Devonta Smith, Kirk, Wan'Dale, lost Rice. Any moves to improve?
All right, so 10-team super flex. You can get by with your quarterbacks the way they are right now. I do expect Jalen Hurts to play better once he gets his guys, his wide receivers and Lane Johnson back. Watson, those matchups are going to eventually get softer, especially this week. And Watson slowly looks like he's getting better. So I'm fine with the quarterback position. Where I might look to improve, and this is another Rashee Rice situation. You need to do something at wide receiver, but I don't think you need to do anything drastic, especially when you look at the short term. Malik Neighbors might not play this week. You have Wan'Dale Robinson, who is probably going to be he's already getting, peppered with targets. He might be the number one target leader on that team, and he's certainly a plug and play against Seattle, a game I believe that the Giants are going to be trailing. Devonta Smith coming off the bye, he was only dealing with concussion. I believe he's going to be fine. Ayuk, when is he going to get going? And then Devontae Adams is not long for Las Vegas, and he's going to go to a place where his fantasy stock's going to be improved. So, I think the move you make is possibly not making any moves. Because this week you got Wan'Dale and Malik Neighbors probably is not playing. Probably. At least that's what I'm hearing.
That is a sentiment, yes.
And maybe Jordan Whittington's out there on your waiver. Maybe you could squeeze him in there.
Yeah.
Juju. Yeah. Hey. Juju. No money.
But
we're not too excited about Juju.
Well, I am.
Yeah, I know you are, but I'm not. 3 for 30, 3 for 30 for Juju.
You could do Trey Tucker. Maybe he's out there. I mean, I picked him up in a couple of leagues.
Yeah, Trey Tucker, Whittington, Juju. Who else is out? Who else was out there? Big time receiver this week. Even Wicks. Wicks might be out there too.
Without Jalen Tolbert, with all this going on with Brandon Cooks, could be out this week and maybe longer.
Yeah, that was interesting. It was a knee infection from a surgery he had in the offseason.
Yeah, my best ball teams do not like that news. All right, so I'm going to try and go back a little bit here. We'll try and answer these quick because now we're backed up with questions, but that's what happens when we send in super chats, folks. Let me go back here. Let me see. I'm going to go. We answered this one already. We answered that one already. Let's go over here. All right, let's go here. Young Star over on Twitch, 210. Who do I start at wide receiver 2 next to Olave? Jackson Smith, Jacoby Myers, Khalil Shakir, or Jordan Addison? If he's got to start 2, I'm going to go Jackson Smith and Jordan Addison.
Well, he's got Olave, and then he needs one more, I think.
I thought he meant he needs. Okay, well, if he's only doing one, then I'm taking JSN. If he's only taking one. If there's another one, because I thought he was trying to say he has Olave, needs 2 more. So, but if you need 1, JSN. If you need 2, Jordan Addison. Jacoby Myers going up against I assume he'll get a lot of Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, we don't like that one this week.
Yeah, we don't like that shit at all.
Yeah, I like JSN followed by Addison, and Khalil Shakir missed now back-to-back practices with an ankle.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great either. Yeah, I don't mind JSN against the Giants here. That's not a terrible one, but Addison certainly could cook again against the Jets. Jefferson. I mean, those guys don't really travel, but Addison's freaking good. Darnold, this is a revenge game in London. Either one of those, I'm fine with either one of those two.
I think he did need two because then he said that Olave is his wide receiver 1. I don't know. Whatever. Just whatever.
All right. So yeah, those two if you need.
Yeah.
But if you need one, I would say just freaking flip a coin at that point. I mean, it's very close.
We got Josh Truss over on the YouTube. Yo, guys, traded Andy Dalton and Wicks for London in a full PPR redraft. You like that? Exclamation point. We get that. That's very, clever. Kirk Cousins and Drake London, whatever. Kirk Cousins' voice. Yes, he had it. Do we like that, though? I don't hate. I don't.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
I mean, I definitely don't hate it. That's for sure. I
like it.
I mean,
it depends who your other quarterbacks are, but I'm sure if you probably could afford to trade Andy Dalton. Yeah, he's probably not going to have a good game this week against the Bears. He'll probably throw for like 190, maybe a couple picks here. He'll probably get sacked like 5 times. He's definitely going to come back down to earth here in this Bears matchup, is what I would think. So I think that was a good time to move Dalton.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I know Anthony was busting my balls about loving Andy Dalton. But he is a sit for me this week. And if you go into our videos on YouTube, we do start sits for all the positions. I did quarterbacks, and he was an official sit. So he's one of the 3.
Yeah, I would do this deal as well. Getting a guy like Drake London, high floor player. There's no volatility here. Like, he's a clear number 1 wide receiver. As much as I like Wicks, I think we all like Wicks. There is going to be a volatility, especially when all 3 of Reed, Dubs, and Christian Watson are healthy. That usually sends Wicks to number 4 in the pecking order. So yeah, I like this move, securing Drake London.
All right, we got Dom_17. Bang bang Niner gang, my friend. I see that YouTube photo, my buddy. If Singletary doesn't play, who would you play? Waddle, Jennings, Antonio Gibson, or Tank Bigsby? What was interesting was I saw a report yesterday, which Anthony, I think you mentioned it a couple of days prior. Not the report, but you made a suggestion that if Ramondre Stevenson keeps fumbling, Antonio Gibson's going to get more touches here. So that sounds like that might be starting to happen. But if Singletary can't go this week, we know Neighbors doesn't look good. I think Singletary goes based on what I heard. But if he can't, what, Steve, I'll go to you first in this one. Waddle, Jennings, Gibson, or Tank Bigsby if there's no Devin Singletary.
Yeah, I mean, I had high hopes for the Dolphins offense last week, but I guess it was a little unrealistic because it was Huntley's first game, coming into a new offense. But I was just like, just fucking take some shots, and they were very, very conservative with all these horizontal screen passes, 97,000 runs that didn't go anywhere. He did take the one shot to Hill, didn't connect, but I mean, it's so hard to start Waddle right now against a pretty good Patriots defense. Ramondre has a fumbling problem. Mayo did come out and say that, we can't be, allowing guys to continue to fumble and keep putting them out there. But, Ramondre is a superior back. I think maybe this is like, if he fumbles again, he might be in deep shit. But I mean, I don't expect much from Gibson, but it's not a bad matchup here against the Dolphins. So, I mean, your other options aren't great. I mean, you got freaking Jawan Jennings with all those guys back now. Bigsby's kind of, still splitting with ETN. Not a bad matchup against the Colts. I mean, the options aren't great. I kind of want to say Jennings here against the Cardinals. I mean, it's a total of 50, and you're going to get PPR points. He's been still pretty good even last week, despite all those guys back. He could go for 5 for 60 and maybe a touchdown. So I'm going to go with the receiver here in Jennings.
Anthony,
it's close now. The report is that Gibson, like I think Hawk was alluding to this, could start this week. Obviously, if we get any inclination that Antonio Gibson is going to be the starting running back then you use him in a great matchup. Miami, a top 5 easy matchup for running backs. And Gibson, the past 2 games, 8 touches in week 3. He had 9 last week, actually 10.9 total PPR points. He's had 3 and 4 targets, getting a little bit more snap run. So that's the pivot, obviously, if Gibson is deemed the starter, which can happen. Ramondre Stevenson lost fumbles in back-to-back games. He's also fumbled in 4 straight to start the year. In the first 2 games, he just did not lose them. On the other side, like, I'm very tempted by Jalen Waddle because of the matchup against New England. But like I can't go there. I don't know if I can go there.
I think it will get better
go
this week, but I still don't know if I want to go there.
You know, and to be fair, like the Dolphins matchups without Tua, Buffalo number 2 in defending wide receivers, Seattle number 8 last week, Tennessee they're number 1. That was a gauntlet of hard matchups with a backup quarterback for 2.5 games. The next 2, you get New England by an Indy. So like maybe we, and like me more than anybody was like sit these fucking Dolphins receivers. And now I think I might be turning the page because the matchups are opening up and context, as Hoff says, context is key. Those are really hard matchups to go into with the starting quarterback, never mind with second and third quarterbacks.
All right. So we got another question coming in. We've got a lot of questions, but Jared says, hey, guys, my roster is Mahomes, Kyron, Mason, Achane, Braylon Allen, Madison, Kincaid, Kmet, Jefferson, Higgins, Shakir, Wan'Dale, and Wicks, Denver DST. Was offered Geno and Garrett Wilson for Kincaid and Higgins. Offered Geno, and who is his Corey? He's got Mahomes. Mahomes and Garrett Wilson for Kincaid and Higgins. I might do that deal.
I would do it.
I would do that deal because
you're gonna take the downgrade at tight end. Go ahead.
Sure, but like we've talked about too much on this show, tight end sucks this year. So I mean, like maybe you're better off just streaming from week to week. And the elephant in the room is if Devontae Adams does go to the Jets, I actually think that helps Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. Yep.
Because he's not doing a ton for you right now anyway, and now he's not even getting the opposing team's best cornerback. That's going to allow for him to get open more, get more separation. I think that is actually a good thing. So I would do this deal. Yeah.
I would too.
Wilson's schedule is going to ease up after these, get Vikings, Bills, Steelers, Pats. And then you got Texans, Cardinals, Colts. Seahawks isn't great, but then Dolphins, Jags, Rams. So it's going to ease up. He's going to start blowing up soon. So I like it too. And you improve your quarterback situation. Mahomes is not looking good. Geno's firing the ball away to those 3 receivers. Mahomes is throwing a freaking Juju and Noah Gray and, hand it off to Kareem Hunt from 2000, whenever the hell he was there, 17. So, yeah, I like it.
All right. We got Pristine over here saying, realistically, who do I start this week in a standard league? Well, realistically, we're going to give you the real answer. Justin Fields or Kyler Murray? I'm going Kyler Murray in this one. I mean, Steve, you mentioned it. I'll go to you, but you mentioned it. It's a high over-under. This week out in San Francisco with the 49ers taking on the Cardinals. Kyler Murray always plays the Niners tough. I don't have the exact numbers up. Anthony can look at it, but based on my memory, Kyler's always played them pretty tough. So I would pick Kyler in this matchup, even though I am buying more and more into Justin Fields. But Steve, you are our resident Fields guy. So what's up?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Fields, the rushing. Kyler, supposedly, he only had 3 yards rushing. Supposedly, somebody was saying he was limping. I didn't see that game. He was kind of limping around a little bit. So that's kind of a bad sign. I don't know. Maybe he just got banged in the knee.
Cool.
I don't know. That's not anything I saw. So I'd have to go back and check it. Just somebody mentioned that.
Haven't heard anything this week either. So maybe it was like you just said. Maybe he dinged it on something.
Yeah, he only ran for 3 yards. He's not really running like we expected, though. So, and the throwing hasn't been great, but he did miss McBride last week. McBride is expected to return this week after sitting out last week. Elijah Higgins didn't do anything, but I'm still going Fields here against the Cowboys on Sunday night. The total in that game is 45, so I'm not too far off.
Yeah, Kyler does play fairly well against the 49ers, but like the 49ers, their defense does seem like it's taken a step back this year, but they are playing the quarterback position fairly well, all things considered. Darnold lit them up, but like they've minimized Stafford, Brissett, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, so I don't know if we really know who they are yet. And maybe Kyler can expose them. Like what's really intriguing about Justin Fields in this Cowboys matchup, and I'm a Cowboys fan. I know this very intimately. A couple of years ago, when Justin Fields was on that monster run, I think it was his rookie year or his second year, Dallas won the game. But Justin Fields, like literally, like he could not be stopped. I think Dallas had one, that was a couple of years ago when they were beating teams like, they were up 30, 40, nothing. And then all of a sudden, like the Bears got back into that game and it was all Justin Fields. I think he had over 30 fantasy points in that game. And that was a Dan Quinn defense when Dan Quinn's defense was lights out. Now this is Zimmer's defense that can't get out of their own way. I am extremely bullish on Justin Fields this week. I think he could have a really nice football game.
The screamers for the defensive coordinator, not for the Justin Fields call. I don't hate the Justin Fields call at all. I mean, it's a coin flip for me. I would just take Kyler, but this isn't like a pizza bet thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I do think that Fields will play well. And I now I'm at the point where I hope he keeps that job. I was running my mouth all offseason saying Russell Wilson wouldn't lose it. Now I hope he doesn't get it back.
Yeah, and he threw for $151, 2 touchdowns. He ran for 60 yards and another touchdown in that game.
We got William Stevenson up in here. He's saying Tyler Algier or Trey Sermon, but it's not a week 5 question. It's a rest of season. So to me, I go Algier here only because I know that there's a better path to, while it will be minimal or it won't be always start worthy is probably the better way to phrase it. There's a better path for production for him than there would be for Trey Sermon. I mean, the only reason we're interested in Trey Sermon this week is because it sounds like, Jonathan Taylor missed practice again. Odds are he doesn't play this week. So for week 5, I would go Trey Sermon. Rest of the season, I'd go Tyler Algier.
Yeah, agreed.
Steve, you're with me?
Yeah.
I agree here on both.
All right. So we got Vix over there. And unjustifiably unjust. Yeah, I said it that time, Steve. He did come back and he did say love the feedback on that question from earlier. And he probably loved that you said the name while I just gave the fuck up on it and didn't even try. So there you go.
Well, he said Algier has got 0 goal line work too. So I mean that is, I mean, it's very close. I don't mind the other guy, but we already answered it. Go ahead. Let's move it. Keep it moving, baby.
Sure thing. You guys can ask some more questions if you have them, or you can feel free to send in a super chat, whichever works. Brent, I feel like I haven't seen Brent in a bit. Maybe you guys have, but Brent over on the Facebook said, would you trade Chuba Hubbard and Leggett for Addison and Ford? He's got Nick Chubb, and Nick Chubb, the practice window was opened, of course. So good for him. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, Anthony, I see you looking hard there, pulling up numbers. What do you think here, man?
The Hubbard and Leggett. So 2 guys from an offense that we don't know what we're going to get on a week-to-week basis. For Addison and Ford, oof, man, and he has Chubb. What's tempting here is the fact that you do have Nick Chubb and you can essentially corner this backfield. And this is the year to do it. When we look at all the CMC issues, we're seeing a lot of trying to fantasy managers trying to pair Mason and CMC. And I think this is a smart thing to do this year with the handcuffing more than ever. And I'm not a big handcuffer, but I think that's smart. What I don't love here, can you get more for Chuba Hubbard? I feel like, Hubbard and Leggett are both coming off of really, really busy games. And for Hubbard, 3 straight games, double-digit PPR points, including 2 straight over 20. Leggett targeted, popped a little bit last week. Addison did as well. Ford's like the wild card. Ford hasn't really given us much. I think we need to wait for this offensive line to get healthy in Cleveland. I don't know if I pulled this trigger. I think I want more for Chuba Hubbard. I need something better than Ford.
Yeah, I mean, you are getting Addison back. I mean, Leggett, I liked Leggett. I drafted a lot of him, but it's just one game, really. But yeah, Hubbard's nice. The thing about Chubb is I just heard him say he feels good, but he still doesn't know when he's going to return to action. But it sounds like it could be, within the next 2 or 3 weeks possibly, and then you got the upgrade with Addison, and then you could utilize both Ford or Chubb, whoever's playing. Obviously, if Chubb comes back, he's going to get the lead spot. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't mind going for Addison and Ford here, but yeah, I do kind of like Hubbard and Leggett, even though they both play for the same offense.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I get what you're saying, Anthony. I do. I just wonder, and then we do have a super chat. But so we'll get that in a second. I just don't know how much more you would be able to get. I get that you can get more, but I feel like how much is it? Does it work?
Because you got Brooks in the wings too there, so that's a factor. That's going to hurt Chubb's value eventually.
And
and I think he's probably making this move to get Ford so we can have that pairing with Chubb.
That's the he figures get a part of the Minnesota offense with Addison scoring 2 touchdowns.
Right.
Yeah. I don't mind it. The more I look at Jerome Ford's numbers right now, I don't mind it. He had 2 kind of like speed bump games under 10 PPR points, but his other 2, he went over 15, including last week, getting the touches. So I don't mind it.
Yeah, and Foreman's not doing anything. So Foreman's not even a factor really anymore.
Let's go to our super chat here. Another Bang Bang Niner gang. Anthony, they're all just flocking to the show, buddy. Don't you love that? Yeah. Fuck yeah. Welcome, buddy. Hey, you know what? Cheers to you. I'll stop wasting time because Anthony gets mad when I waste time. I see him. He almost sighed. JMW85 sends a $2 super chat. We appreciate that. Anthony, I know you all too well. He says, I own JT. If he's out, should he use Javonte Williams or Trey Sermon? My quick answer is Trey Sermon. Anthony's going to give a whole bunch more context. That's the beauty of him being on this show. I'm going Sermon in this matchup. I haven't seen anything from Javonte.
Decent game last week. Wasn't bad. Finally. Even Jaleel White got it going a little bit too. Jaleel McLaughlin. Anthony, I like calling Jaleel White. I found out he did the Sonic voice back. Yeah.
We just realized next sound shop I'm downloading is the is a Steve Urkel. Did I do that? That's happening. That's coming.
That's great.
Anyway, but yes.
But I think you want the direct cuff to JT. I mean, that's kind of what I would want. Estime, I know he's still out. He could be a factor maybe when he comes back. And, Williams hasn't really looked that great. They did get it going a little bit last week. And it's certainly Javonte over Sermon is, it's funny when I did a dynasty draft, years ago, and both those guys came out the same year. I think I took Sermon over Javonte, and everybody was calling me a fool. But neither of these guys have really been that good. But Sermon's certainly been a lot worse. Javonte's at least had a couple good years, or at least one good year. So I think you want the direct cuff. But if you want the guy with more talent, it's probably Javonte.
Is this for this week? Like, if JT doesn't play?
Yes. No.
This is just for this week.
Yeah, then it's Trey. I think it's Trey Sermon for me. Like
the Jaguars, better matchup, right?
I would say they both have good matchups. Yes. I like the matchup against Jacksonville better, and I think there's going to be more volume on his side, where like they do rotate backs a little bit more in Denver, and Tyler Goodson. Like I think this could very easily be Trey Sermon dominating the touches, and Jacksonville. You can certainly run on them. You can do whatever you want on them.
And we've got another super chat. Nice. No Bang Bang Niner game this time, Anthony. But it's Dylan. I see you don't like it. Dylan Matos over on the YouTube says, just traded Dallas Goedert, who's on a bye week, by the way, for Sam Laporta, and he's got Tucker Kraft already. So thoughts on that?
I like it.
I dig it.
Goddard's not going to be once AJ and Devonta are healthy again, his numbers are going to drop. So I think, getting Laporta I think that makes sense. But is there a chance Goddard outscores Laporta the rest of the year? But, I think you made the right move there overall.
Yeah, it's a prime by low spot for Sam Laporta. I want to see more. Like last week, another good matchup spot. Only 4 targets, catches all 4 for 53, just under 10 PPR points, which is his best game of the year. His playoff matchups are pretty good. Like, again, and you guys are saying the right things when it comes to the usage of Dallas Goedert. He's had 11 and 8 targets the past 2 games. No A.J. Brown, and then obviously no Devonta Smith last week. they're going to come back, and the usage for Dallas Goedert through the first 2 games totaled 9 targets, and we're probably going to expect that regression once this receiving room is healthy. It is probably going to happen coming off this bye. So yeah, I don't. And you have Kraft, so you're buying low on Laporta, and even if Laporta takes a little bit to get going, Kraft is the unquestioned tight end 1 in Green Bay when you look at snap count.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just got a funny text from one of my nieces. She just realized that when things get shipped, that they don't get shipped from like next door. Sometimes they come from like maybe Tennessee, maybe the West Coast. So she's just realizing that. She's pissed. So that's funny. Anyway, all right. So that's it for our super chats. If you do want to send in a super chat, you can. It will help you cut the line. Let me see here. Let's go here. The Belgian Bronco. Anthony likes that name. That sounds like a pro wrestler name. I like it. The Belgian Bronco. I don't mind that. See him on WWF Superstars. He wants to know thoughts this week. Pick 2. Pickens, Brian Thomas Jr., or T. Higgins. Steve, I'll go to you first in this one, buddy.
Yeah, T. Higgins had a nice game last week. Looking pretty nice. 6 for 60, I think he had. Ravens Bengals this week, big divisional game, total of 49. So this could be a back and forth game. Again, we kind of expected that Buffalo game to be high scoring too, and then the Ravens just came out and kind of smacked them around. But this one could be back and forth. So Higgins is definitely coming up. Brian Thomas looks excellent against the Colts here. Nice little matchup, 46.5. And then the last one there is Georgie Pickens, who, I'm still waiting for that true breakout game. I mean, he's had a touchdown call back. He had one like bounce off his face mask last week. Could have been another touchdown. So still hasn't scored on the year. But I don't mind this matchup against the Steelers either. So, 3 really good options, man. It's tough to pick out of these 3. I'm going to say, I'm going to say though, Pickens, because he's the number 1 guy. And I guess I'll go with Brian Thomas Jr.
That's where I was going.
That's where I'm leaning as well. Brian Thomas, his past 2 games, and I was like skeptical on the first 2 weeks because he only had 4 targets, productive on them. But past 2 games, 9 targets, and this is with Christian Kirk starting to get going. Brian Thomas looks like the real deal. Like he looks like everything we thought Calvin Ridley was going to be last year. And then they got the matchup, I think, against the Colts. So this is an amazing smash spot.
I feel like she's sending a super chat to see if I can still pronounce her name. I'm really fucking nervous right now. Alicia. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. You can tell me if I'm right. It's if I'm right, that's 2 weeks in a row. It's pretty sick. If no Mixon, she sends in a super chat, of course. If no Mixon, Jerome Ford or Bucky Irving on the waivers. Anthony, we have talked up Bucky Irving quite a bit, but you also, upon earlier question with Jerome Ford, you kind of warmed up to Jerome a little bit. Do you warm up enough to take him over Bucky here on waivers?
We need to know this tonight because if Joe Mixon, right? Because Bucky Irving plays tonight, Alicia, and the latest report from this afternoon, he remains sidelined. He is not practicing. Who do they have this week? They get Buffalo. This is a tough matchup. Ideally, you want Joe Mixon back for this, but I think they're not in a must-win spot by any means, so I don't think they're going to rush Joe Mixon back. I might err on the side of caution, and I like Bucky Irving tonight, but if you want to risk Joe Mixon playing, because this is a really nice matchup, Buffalo is the easiest run defense in the NFL right now for fantasy running backs, then Jerome Ford is not a bad pivot. So I might just wait it out. Because I think I'm projecting Ford and Bucky to have similar production.
Bingo. I am waiting. While I don't think Mixon plays this week, I am going to wait it out as well.
Yeah, I'm with you guys there. And they're going to be chasing points probably a little bit against this high-flying Commanders offensive force. You could catch a bunch of balls in that game.
Yeah, matchup-wise, it's a good matchup. And 3 out of 4 games this year, Ford has at least 4 targets, 2 of which he's had at least 7 targets. And like what Steve was saying, potential catch-up game.
All right. Now, we do have 2 more super chats. One, selfishly, is just for me, not you guys. So you guys can go to hell. Yes, I am serious.
Do you know who that is?
That's the from wrestling, right?
That's Mantar.
Well, that's Mantar. That's what it was. Yeah. Okay.
That's
Our good friend Eric from the shower sends in a $5 super chat to say,
Nice.
Michael, want to come over for Smash Burgers tomorrow? Your cousin
good.
will already be in attendance. Yeah, I think I fucking would like that, Eric. I think
Sounds
I'll
good.
do that, actually. I'll be in touch, sweetheart. I'll text you. Or I'll just give out your phone number here on air, whatever. But no, I'll text you, dude. Yeah, but we can make that happen. I'll take the train out there after work. Done and done. All right, another super chat. This one's coming from Rock Out with his you-know-what out. Maybe, probably not. Let's keep it PG, as Anthony would say. Play Parkinson or over Pitts this week.
wow.
Listen, I'm at the point. I'm so sick of Kyle Pitts. I would play an unemployed NFL tight end before I would play Kyle Pitts. That's where I'm mentally at with Kyle Pitts. I am sick of it. We have said so many times on this show. This is my quick little rant, and then Steve, I'll go to you. We have said so many times in this show. This is the week, right? If he can't do it this week, he's got to do it the next week. This is the year. If he can't do it this year, guess what? Kyle Pitts still sucks. So no, I'm going Parkinson on this one. I'm done with Kyle Pitts. I need a week where he does well before I consider putting him back into my starting lineups. Steve, where are you at on this one, though?
I'd go
play Parkinson.
I would go Pitts. So Parkinson
You
stinks
son
too.
of a bitch.
The only thing I'll say is Kate Otten available? Because I would go Kate Otten.
Yes.
Kate Otten is starting to pick up the pace a little bit here.
Yeah.
Past 2 games, he's got 8 and 9 targets, 47 yards, 52 yards. He might still be out there. I would drop Parkinson and pick up Kate Otten.
And just for Anthony answers, obviously both played tonight, so I would be quick to check on Kate Otten. Quick. Anthony, go ahead, buddy.
It's so difficult to sit Kyle Pitts sometimes because we are waiting for that game. What I can give you to think about, Kyle Pitts, last time they played in Atlanta last year, 3 for 57 and a touchdown. So he did find the end zone the only time he scored against Tampa, and I don't think he has many touchdowns in his career overall. He's not getting used, right? Like this has been the perennial issue, no matter who the OC or the quarterback is.
Freaking Ray Buchanan's catching passes.
I don't know what to do here. Like, I'm gonna ride the matchup and go Parkinson. Like, we are severely looking at a touchdown dependent Kyle Pitts, and maybe he does score tonight. But like, this is a guy who has fewer than 4 targets, 3 out of 4 games.
Yeah,
and he hasn't given us more than 7.9 PPR points since week 1, and last week he blanked. The fuck are these tight ends blanking? Mark Andrews, like what are we doing?
It's not great. Not great, Bob. Lee Shaw. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna screenshot my screen. So this way, I'm gonna cheat from now on. So now I'm never gonna forget that. Literally just happened. I just screenshot that. So there you go. That happened. So now I will not fuck up your name ever again unless I'm too drunk, which won't happen. Maybe, probably. Anyway, let's go to another question. I will just say, we do have another super chat. So we'll get to the super chat. I'm going to tell folks, this is the point in the show where I say, if you had a question that did not get answered yet, if you're still here, just fire it back in there. We're going to start from the bottom here now because we've got a bunch of questions. But we do have a super chat. This is coming from Terrell T over on the YouTube. I have a feeling Higgins scores more than London this week. I mean, I could see a world in which that exists. Why not?
Higgins, I mean, again, this total is 49. Higgins has those games all of a sudden where he just erupts for, 130, 140, 2 touchdowns. Problem with Higgins is, he's always kind of hurt. He's always banged up. There's always something going on with him, so he can never develop that consistency. Burrow's always been hurt too. So, yeah, I mean, Higgins, anytime, of course.
Yeah.
T. Higgins does have in his career 2 monster games against the Baltimore Ravens, including one the last time he played them healthy, which was September of 2023, 8 for 89 and 2. You got to go back a few years ago to December of 2021, 12 for $194 and 2. But again, like when is this game in Cincy or is it in Baltimore?
Cincy.
So, and both of those were home games. So you know what? If you want to play the game, the historical matchup game, and where these performances are coming at home, I can see that. Plus, Baltimore, this is their worst secondary we've seen in years outside of Kyle Hamilton.
Just to follow up from Jared, he said, "Thanks, guys. Just completed the deal Kincaid and Higgins for Gino and Garrett Wilson. Enjoy the
Nice.
ride, my friend. Have a good time. Let me see. Oh, Josh Chart had a previous trade question. Let me see if I can. Where are you up here, Josh? Oh, Josh, how far am I going? Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Yeah, I'm not good at that. All right, I'll find that eventually. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ask the next question, then I will find that, Josh. So just hang tight, buddy, and then we'll get to you. Anthony, I'll go to you on this one. Full point per reception: James Conner or Austin Eckler? Brian Robinson Jr. status. And Josh, hang tight. I will
It's not
find
good.
your not great, Bob. I gotta get that sound drop next.
Didn't
too.
practice again today.
Brian Robinson still officially listed as a DNP, did not participate. Now, yet another game this week. It's a knee injury. Now, Austin Eckler, who was limited, I believe, earlier this week, he did participate in full. Now, I do have to intervene here with Austin Eckler. I don't know at this juncture in his career, like, can he handle a full workload? I think he'll be featured, but I would not be surprised if Brian Robinson is out, if we see a similar workload for Jeremy McNichols, who ran well last week. So to answer the question, I might lean Eckler in the matchup over Connor. Like in a start sit video I did, I have Connor as a sit with caution, because this is the type of guy we know he's going to get red zone work, and he's going to get a lot of touches, but I think this is more of a must-have game for the 49ers, and their defense could potentially really focus on making the Cardinals a one-dimensional team. And if you do that, Kyler struggles. So I might lean Eckler in this matchup.
Yeah, the game script certainly favors Eckler, whereas Connor, they might be down and they might not be able to run the ball. So, yeah, I mean, in normal circumstances, I would say Connor over Eckler, but Eckler's looked pretty good. He had a concussion. Sounds like he's going to be back this week after sitting out last week. Jeremy McNichols is running for 2 touchdowns. So this run offense, they can run the freaking football. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Eckler too.
All right. So we do have a super chat, but I did want to get to Josh's question. So super chat, you're up next. Josh, only because I scrolled all the way up to find this sucker. We'll be quick with this answer. Well, obviously, we'll give good enough analysis, but then we'll get to our super chat. So Josh did ask about a trade question. Would y'all trade Drake London for George Pickens straight up? Been trying to get him for weeks now. Now that I have London, he wants him for Pickens straight up. I mean, I would do that deal. I'm not sure if you guys would. I would do that deal.
I'm a big Georgie Pickens guy. I think he's, again, he's the only guy, and he's had some rough matchups, really rough matchups. I think he's going to really start getting going now. So I like Pickens over London.
I was obviously on Pickens as well. I have a lot of him, and he hasn't been bad. And especially last week, over 100 yards, had a really nice fantasy outing last week. And I don't think there's a lot of separation. And I'm pulling that up now between London and Pickens. So London, he's the wide receiver 23 in points per game. We have Pickens. He's the 34. So he's a little bit further back. But Steve brings up a good point. If you look at the matchups, some difficult matchups for Pittsburgh, but I think what's even more significant is that 3 out of their first 4 matchups on the year were on the road. So we're going to have a lot more Steelers home games. We know they're a much improved team at home. I might want Pickens here if you need ceiling. I think floor, you stay with London, but if you need a potential guy who can go off rest of season, and we know Justin Fields has it in him. Look what he did for DJ Moore last year. Like, once these two start cooking in the right matchups, I think the sky's the limit.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could, even if Russ comes in at some point too. I mean, Cortland Sutton had 10 touchdowns last year too, so it's pretty safe.
Yeah.
Okay. Tyler Sperry did send in a super chat. We got your super chat, buddy. Sorry if it took a little bit. Didn't take that long, but sorry if it took more than usual. Drop Zach Charbonnet or Jerome Ford for Trey Sermon. Taylor mostly out. I think he means most likely out, which you're correct. He is most likely out. Which that's what I'm taking from it. Guys in practice. I would be okay dropping Shubada. I think Charbonnet, because Kenneth Walker is pretty much, I mean, he's doing all right. So I think I would drop Charbonnet for Sermon this week.
Yeah, if you had to pick one, it would be Charbonnet. Yeah. But the problem with dropping Charbonnet is if Walker goes down, we've seen he's had a little bit of injuries
Yeah.
now. Walker looks great. I mean, he looked absolutely like one of the
the
best
running
backs
game in
in the league.
Seattle totally looks great because even when
Yeah.
Charbonnet was in there, he
So
did
that's
good.
that's what I'm saying. It's tough to drop a player like that in that system. So I mean, Sermon's maybe gives you 1 week. Is there anybody else you can kind of throw in there? I don't know.
I think that's a problem. I think he's looking for that 1 week. I mean, Tyler, if I see you respond, you don't have to send another super chat, man. But if you respond with what else you have at running back, then we'll answer you.
If you're 1-3 or something, you need a W, then you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly.
So can I everyone interject here?
No interjecting.
You have, Charbonnet, Seattle gets the Giants at home.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially no Malik Neighbors. Can we make a case for potential garbage time for Charbonnet and you don't really have to make a move?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And Charbonnet, we'll get involved in the passing
Good
game a little bit too. He caught that, even when Walker was healthy, he's caught some balls and he caught a touchdown. So, I mean, Sermon, is he going to be that much better? Plus, you still got this guy Goodson who could still working on passing downs. That's possible. Maybe you could just roll with Charbonnet in a potential blowout against the Giants.
Jay Garcia could be Jerry Garcia from the grave, could be 49ers legend Jeff Garcia. We're not sure, but he's over on the YouTube. He wants to know, he's got Barkley, who was on a bye week, of course, and Derrick Henry. Do I hold or sell? Thanks, guys. Yeah, I hold that shit. I mean,
what are you going to get from those guys? Those are like two of the best running backs in fantasy right now. It's going to continue. I mean, they're both in great situations. Henry looks like an absolute monster beast. This guy is taking better care of his body, possibly anybody in the league. And then Barkley behind that offensive line has been absolutely amazing. So
yeah, I mean, as I always say, context is key. I mean, we always say it as a show, but I am kind of curious as to why you're asking that question. Are you up against a particular wall where you need to trade one of them? If not, then I just hold and I enjoy the ride with two phenomenal running backs. And be sure to shove it up everybody's ass that wanted to tell you how old Derrick Henry was. Yeah. And now look at him,
Yeah, but, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep rolling.
Yeah, I'm not moving these guys. Yep. Unless the only way, if you are in a dire need at wide receiver, when I say dire need, like I was telling Steve earlier in the week, I think I told everybody in our chat, I have an FFPC team where I lost Puka, AJ Brown, and Rice. If you're in that situation and you lost significant, couple, then you might have to flip one of these guys for wide receiver help. Otherwise, you're holding these running backs and you're going to win with them.
Yeah. All right. We're going to answer some of these questions. Debbie, we'll get to you in a moment. I just want to get to Tyler, and then we did have another question. Then we'll get to you, Debbie. Tyler did follow up, say the others are Tank Dell or Kareem Hunt. Is that who you could pick up, or who you have at your disposal?
He can drop.
He can drop. I wouldn't do that. If that's what you're talking about dropping, then I wouldn't do those.
For who?
No. He had the
for
super
Sermon.
Yeah, he had the super chat.
No,
Zach Charbonnet or Jerome Ford.
Kareem Hunt's on the injury report this week. I get it. If he starts, I think you can start Charbonnet or Kareem Hunt over the injury.
Yeah, go with Kareem Hunt. Go with Kareem Hunt. He's gonna be the guy.
Yeah.
Steele fumbled. He's shot now. Piron's not doing much. CH is not going to be back. I don't know. Maybe comes back. He's still, what is he going to? Yeah, Hunt at least good for one more week, I would think.
Yeah.
Anthony's favorite username on this program, good old Whistle Dick, is here. He they already knew it. It was already on the tip of his tongue, literally. Trey Sermon.
We need a Whistle Dick sound drop.
I'll find it. I will find it, sir. I got a lot of sound drops to download after this shit's over. Anyway. Sermon or take a swing with Chase Brown. Chase Brown had a great game last week. Got a beer dumped on him. They're still trying to figure out whether that was David Tepper or an actual Panthers fan. But where are you going with here, Anthony?
Sermon. See, Chase Brown had a really nice game last week. The issue is the matchup against Baltimore. I don't exactly love that. I think you roll Sermon and play the matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know if I love this Chase Brown spot against Baltimore.
Ravens. Yeah.
What did I say?
I don't. He interjected with the.
Oh.
with the major league.
Yeah, I said the Rays.
Yeah.
That's like throwing salt in the eyes. I got him real good. Go ahead, Steve. What do you got, man?
I mean, hey, I'm rooting for Trey Sermon. I did like this guy a lot. I thought he was going to be a good pro, and it just has not worked out. You know, I remember Mike. Remember that, like, when he was on the Niners and he had like that one good carry, and like he got like absolutely clocked and he fumbled, and like we never saw from him again in San Francisco after that.
That's how it goes out there, man.
Yeah, it's like fucking Shanahan's like, good night, you're out of here.
Yeah, I mean, you can get the wrong color shorts and get fucked up around there. You gotta take it easy.
He hit the doghouse pretty quick over there.
That's right,
and hasn't recovered since.
Kyle. So
I mean, I'm rooting for him, but yeah, Chase Brown looked pretty damn good. And in a game where they're gonna have to pass a lot, I think he'll catch some more balls. Now Moss is catching passes too, but he's getting goal line carries. I got to go with Zach Moss, even though I'm rooting for Sermon here to kind of show something.
Right. We do have a super chat, and then Debbie, I will get to you because you're always here. Over on YouTube, Hustle Kings. We just talked about Chase Brown. We're getting next again. Chase Brown or Rashad White this week, guys, and it's 7:07, so he's got to make a decision right now.
Going Chase, baby.
I'm going Chase. Yeah, I'm going Chase. What do you mean? Fuck out of here with them.
Yeah, as I just said to the last person, I don't like the Chase Brown situation, but I don't like the Rashad White situation even more.
Okay, so I'm
gonna go with Chase Brown.
All right, I was about to hit that pizza bed button. I was about to fuck you up. All right. So we did answer that. Let's go, but get back to Debbie. Then we will get to some more questions. Debbie? Where'd you go? I'll find her.
Gotta find Debbie.
Way too
loyal
far.
Listener.
Yeah. And actually, Debbie entering the chat reminds me, I will enter this into the chat before we go. We are doing another DFS contest this week. I will fire that link into the chat. It's already created. It's over on DraftKings, $5 entry.
Who won last week? Do you know?
I don't remember, but I don't think that son of a bitch Anthony signed up.
I did terrible. I did terrible. I know that.
Anthony, did you sign up?
No, because I waited until the last minute and I got busy doing other things with my lineups and bets. So I have to do this like ahead of time.
Yeah. Yes, Anthony. Yes, you have to join things ahead of time. That's a good way to look at things.
Press buttons next time. Click. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna fucking lose anyway. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Press buttons.
Debbie says, "Hey guys, not sure if you answered this already. Went through a dead area. Oh, sorry about that, Debbie. We definitely did not answer any of your questions, so don't worry about it. We're going through a dead area ourselves right now. 2 questions, 2 different leagues, both Superflex. Okay." So Stroud or Jaden Daniels? Looks like one of the questions.
Stroud against the Bills, Daniels against the Browns. I'm going to go with, I got to stick with Jaden Daniels there.
I'm just sticking with it too.
The rushing upside, you got to go with Daniels again.
Matchup ain't great.
Yeah, I'm with you on Daniels. You got to ride this until it stops, and I don't see it stopping.
No. All right. And then also said, question number 2, need 1 wide receiver. I think that's what she said. Oh, 1 wide receiver, 2 flex. There's a lot of other stuff in there. Xavier Worthy, Rashid Shaheed, Christian Kirk, Adunze, Brown, or Bucky Irving. So need 1 wide receiver and 2 flexes there. So I'm going Worthy. No Rashee Rice. I'm gonna go Worthy here. I know he's probably still very much hit and miss, but I am gonna go Worthy here. After that, I think I go Adunze and Brown is where I would lean.
And the Bears, I do like their matchup this week. I might go Worthy, Kirk, and Adunze. Kirk against coming off 2 high volume games and getting the Colts this week. He's a hard player to keep on your bench.
I'm gonna go Shaheed, Kirk, Brown.
Jeez. Anthony, can I put some of the names that William Stevenson has put up just for fun?
What do you
quick.
mean? Okay.
Okay. He says the Dong Drummer.
What?
The PP Piccolo. And last but not least, the Gooch guitar, which is my favorite of all of them, and the Testy Trumpter. Okay, that's it, though, buddy. That's it. Because Anthony's only going to let me get away with so much.
Well, I found the official Whistle Dick sound drop.
Sorry, Debbie. sorry about that.
That's all right. Debbie knows us. She's fine.
Oh God.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
she's
I like it,
Hopefully
though.
our new friend didn't come back tonight
Which new friend?
from the where we were dying. I'm not going to bring it up.
Oh,
we
that
were
one.
dying with laughter. Yeah.
Yes, that was a fun time. Probably still needs help. Aiden Evans says full point per reception. Who should I start? Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, George Pickens, Josh Jacobs, whom I like that matchup, Jerome Ford, Najee Harris. I'm especially struggling with a flex. Love the show. Well, we love that you love the show. And we love that you asked the question, Aiden.
You can only pick one out of all those guys.
That's the one thing you didn't add there, Aiden. So if you're still here, buddy, because I did go back down to the bottom. So
if you only need
well,
one,
I can't
I
read
would
that
love
one.
to be in your situation.
Yeah. I feel like there's more context here. Aiden, if you're still here, man, let us know if it's only one or if it's more than one, because that would drastically change our answer. But all right, if he's picking one. Oh, no, that's his full lineup.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, so who should you start? Well, then how many people do you start? You look good. I mean, if you have to sit one of your wide receivers, let's do it this way. If you have to sit one of your wide receivers, I'm sitting Tyreek Hill. If you have to. And if you have to sit one of your running backs, I would sit Jerome Ford.
Agree.
I'm just going based off it because.
And what wide receiver?
If I had to pick a wide receiver to sit, I'm sitting Tyreek Hill.
Going with Evans and Pickens.
Sorry, man. At some point, we just got to be a realist and look at what we're looking at, and not look at the back of the old card, as they say. I mean, some of these big names aren't doing.
The thing about Tyreek
shit.
though is he just needs one catch, and then he just kills the week. But I mean, yeah, you got good options there. You got Evans and Pickens, so it's not like you're downgrading that much there. So I don't mind that. And then I would sit Ford as well. I think you got to start the rest of the guys. Cordell's hurt. Warren's hurt. It looks like it's going to be the Najee show this week.
And just to add to the point here, because
Warren coming back this week or no? Is
Warren wasn't getting any run even when he was healthy. Not really.
Yeah. Don't fucking matter.
He hasn't been healthy all year. Right? He's been
Aiden did go on to comment and said it's so hard to sit Tyreek, and that's kind of what I'm saying is we have to get to a point where you've got to win games here, and you got to look at the situation Tyreek's in, and also just separate the name for a second. If there was any other player giving you that production, you wouldn't even question it. You'd say this guy's on the bench until he turns it around.
The difference is Tyreek Hill isn't every other player. Like Tyreek
I
Hill is
understand that,
dynamic.
Okay, well, how
but to be fair, I was telling everybody to sit Tyreek Hill for how many weeks now? This is my first time looking at this matchup against New England, where give me
Tyreek over Odunze last week stole me the pizza for that, boys.
That was you get a fucking Celeste pizza for one for that bullshit win.
Yeah, I mean, it's a win's a
win.
Win.
I'm joking. I know.
6-3.
I know.
6-3 and
you lost that Will Levis bet too, you prick.
But
anyway,
it's
the injury knocked that out, right?
To start Tyreek.
Don't worry about it. All right.
It would be now, but I don't know.
How's Evans done against Terrell? Do we have any history on that?
Yes, we have.
We'll look that up.
I actually have that in front of me.
Anthony, just a little feather in your cap for your sound drop. Debbie says, "Great sound, Anthony. Love the show." Well, we love that you love the show, Debbie.
The last time, Evans didn't do anything last December. It's been erratic. Let's say take the last 4 game sample size. 1 for 8, 6 for 82 and 1, 4 for 81 and 7 for 99. If we want to look where the games are being played, since this one is being played in Atlanta, the past 2 games in Atlanta, 1 for 8 and then the 7 for 99. So is Tyreek the better play? I don't know if I can do it. I do like Godwin more tonight, but
okay. Good times. Let me see. We'll answer a couple more and then we'll get out of here because we do have a football game tonight, which I assume you guys got to set your lineups, any bets you have, and all that fun stuff. Showcase the showdowns over on the DraftKings. J876 says, should I start Wicks or Wan'Dale Robinson over McLaurin and MPJ or some combo of the 4? I like the idea of getting Wan'Dale Robinson in there with the likelihood that Malik Neighbors is going to be out. The guy gets targeted left and right to begin with. Anthony, I'll let you comment while I go ahead and get the DraftKings link and fire.
Who's
it.
MJ? Help me here. Michael Pittman.
Marvin Harrison. Oh yeah, Michael Pittman Jr.
Okay.
There you go. I was thinking Marvin Harrison.
Mixon Robinson. I like Mixon Robinson this week a lot. If Neighbors is out, certainly Robinson. If he plays, maybe I pivot to McLaurin. Now, what makes Michael Pittman interesting is not only the matchup. If Flacco plays, I think Pittman's a must start over Robinson. But if we're getting Anthony Richardson again, I'm not comfortable starting these Colts wide receivers. So, as you have it, I'm cool with Mixon Robinson as we stand. I would only flip Robinson out for McLaurin if Neighbors plays.
Yeah, I would say McLaurin definitely one, and then if Flacco's in, I agree. I'd go Pittman over Wicks.
And I forgot who it was. I think it was a super chat earlier about the Zach Charbonnet. Kenneth Walker logged a limited practice today, for what it's worth.
All right, there you go. I'm gonna. We do have a super chat. We'll get to the super chat in a second. I'm just gonna tell you.
Chats.
All right,
Nice.
so we'll get to 2 super chats. But just before we get into the super chats, just an FYI, I am right meow. I am entering the DraftKings link for this weekend. If you guys want to play the main slate, you can play with guys like me, Steve, and Pete. I'm not going to advertise Anthony because he's like Sid Justice during a softball tournament. He might not show up, so we'll see. But yeah, come play some. It's $5 main slate, 10 games on the main slate, and we had a good time with it last week. So hopefully we have another good time again. And I'll find out who the winner was, Steve, and we'll actually announce that on the show each week to give them some props.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Mobbin. Let's call you Mobbin with a $1.99 super chat over on the YouTube. We appreciate you. Star 3, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Jaden Reed, DJ Moore. My question here is Tyreek or DJ Moore, and I think I go DJ.
I would start Tyreek over Moore. I would sit Tyreek over Moore.
Is that your breaking point?
The only thing I would say is about Moore. It's a revenge game for him, and then also he's been a little pissed off. Been showing his frustrations, and I know Caleb was referencing to that. So they may go to him, kind of early and often in this game. And so, I mean, from that aspect, I kind of like it. It's tough, man. You got all good options here. Jaden Reed's been red hot. When he's been out there with Love.
Yeah.
So I think Reed's one. I think the other, I'm going to go with Moore in a bounce back game against his former team. And then I guess I'm going to go with Mikey Evans. I hate sitting Tyreek, though.
I'm with you guys. The same to the last one, the Tyreek versus Evans. I'm going to lean Evans. And, I've been rolling sitting Tyreek Hill since the Tua injury, and I'm going to continue doing it until I see an improvement from this quarterback position.
And we still have 2 more super chats now because someone sent in another one. Anthony, are you able to send the DraftKings link? All right. Yes, I know. Are you able to send the DraftKings link into Facebook? Are you able to do that on that end?
Yeah. I just need. Where's the link?
It's in the chat. It's one of the last comments in there. You'll find it while I read this super chat. We'll have Steve answer first. C-Dog with a $4.99 super chat over on the YouTube. Appreciate you, buddy. He wants to know, should he trade?
Maybe I can't.
No, I don't think you can because you keep pulling the question on me.
It doesn't hyperlink, though. That's the only problem.
Should I trade Zach Moss, Chubb, and Terry for Jamar and Addison? So I think he means Jamar Chase and Jordan Addison. Be trading Zach Moss, Chuba Hubbard, and Terry McLaurin. So it's a 3-for-2 deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would too, man.
Yep. I mean, I don't know the rest of your team, but I mean, I love getting Jamar Chase and Addison.
Yeah.
Look at that offense right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we do want to, we are always curious, what do your running backs look like after that trade? But I mean, it's got to look really dire for me to say no to that deal. I would do that trade. And Anthony seems like he's getting hot.
Yeah, I mean, I know you bring up the running back situation, which you should, but like, Chubb hasn't been there all year, and you've been leaning on Moss. So the only thing you're really losing is Moss when it comes to somebody you're depending on in that running back room. So getting Chase, and you can also flip Addison for a running back if you needed it.
His other RBs, he just commented, his other RBs are Saquon and Henry.
Yeah.
So
there you go, buddy.
Yeah.
All day long. Get that upgrade at receiver. Yep.
Do that trade and fucking smirk when you walk away. That's how I would handle that shit. And speaking of shit, check this shit out, guys. Super chat. Dylan Matos came back to us. The league vetoed his trade Goddard for Laporta.
That's
What
bullshit.
What kind of Karens are you playing fantasy
That's
football
bullshit.
with?
I'm sorry, that's bullshit.
Oh, that's complete bullshit.
How does that trade get vetoed? I've seen people get their pants pulled down on trades and no one blinks an eye.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dallas Goedert's a tight end 1 right now.
Oh, man.
And Laporta's a tight end 15 and by double. Like,
man.
This veto, that's weak, man.
See, I think they're like, it's like you got to have no restrictions on trading. Obviously, you want some restrictions, but like the league has to just call out collusion. But like, what are you going to do?
That's some bullshit, man. That should not get vetoed. That simply not get vetoed. I don't care what particular. Yeah, are you? Yeah, that's right, man.
Serious?
Are you fucking serious? Yeah,
I love that thing.
I know you do. I gotta get a Mantar sound to go with it for you. Whistle Dick with a whistle to the cheeks says Laporta has been cheeks. You're not wrong there, Whistle Dick. And there's your sound drop, buddy. Is he our first listener to have his own sound drop?
No, years ago we had Shrek. Yes. He had a picture or something.
Yeah, it was fantastic. That was the best of times. I miss Shrek.
We're bringing it back. We're bringing it back.
Shrek, get back here, goddammit. Anyway, William Siemens said the veto is some foreskin fiddling bullshit. That it is, William. That it is. All right.
He has a lot of these little limericks. Huh?
Yeah, he almost has too many of them. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know how he gets them. Just pulls them out of his hat. Let's go. Let's do one more.
Yeah, one more.
Let's go Big Daddy Weirdo, which that sounds Big Daddy Weirdo and Whistle Dick in the same chat. What could go wrong? 2 questions.
The Twitch names are coming back again. We like it.
Yes.
We need dangling balls come back soon.
That's not something you want to say out loud. That's not something you want to say out loud, sir. That's the first and last time Steve says that. We need dangling balls. Okay.
We're all getting older now. I mean, it's understandable.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
That should have been pulled out the other night, but I didn't.
That's what she said. 2 questions. Okay, we're just getting raunchy now. We apologize. Big Daddy Weirdo wants to know 2 questions. Start Fields or Burrow this week. I go Fields this one. I went against Fields earlier. I don't know what Steve's laughing about. I don't know if he thinks it's funny that you're asking about Burrow or what his deal is.
No. I think it's very close. I think Burrow could have a smash game here. I could see like Burrow throwing 3 touchdowns, some 300. I could see him having a really good game here for sure. I don't mind using Burrow. I'm just going to go with Fields again on Sunday night.
Whistle Dick, I'm not reading that last comment on the chat. I just can't do it out loud. Anthony will kill me. But Anthony, are you? Go ahead. Are you Fields as well?
I'm just doing my due diligence on Burrow here real quick.
Oh, all right. Go ahead, Steve. You finished your point.
No, I was going to say for the second part, I'm going to go with Wan'Dale, especially if Neighbors is out. I mean, Wan'Dale's going to catch like 10, 11 balls probably.
Yeah.
Maybe,
yeah.
I know the big joke is he catches 11 balls for like 10 yards, but he could break tackles. He can get those yards after the catch. So, and he could get to the end zone. So I think you got to go Wan'Dale, especially if he's out. I mean, his role may not change much anyway because they'll probably just throw to Slayton more, and Slayton's playing a lot, but still I like Wan'Dale there.
I think I slightly lean Fields. Burrow has been nice the past 3 games since a really rough start, but I think the overall higher ceiling play against Dallas is Justin Fields. But it's tough to sit Joe Burrow the way he's playing football right now. He has 7 touchdowns to 1 interception ratio in the past 3 games. But
all right,
he's getting the Ravens.
And then Anthony, are you with us on Wan'Dale over either of the Buccaneers running backs? That was the other question.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's going to do it for today's show. Listen, if we didn't get to your question, fire it into the comments after this show is over. Either Anthony, myself, Steve, or Pete we will. Oh, okay. You did show it on the screen. There you go, Anthony. Okay. Well, that means Anthony's in a good mood. So that's good. All right. So anyway, if you guys have any questions that we didn't get to, first thing you could do, you could fire it into the comments after this show. One of us will get to it. Also, we do this live show again tomorrow I might not be here.
Let's
though,
just,
but
Trone's one of
tomorrow.
our regulars. Let's just give him a real one-off answer real quick.
Give you a one-off. All right.
I'm going to go
Sounds a boy.
JSN McLaurin.
Just for the podcast listeners, he says he needs 2 wide receivers and a flex PPR. I'm Jesus, Anthony. Terry McLaurin, JSN, Tyreek, or Mooney. Someone drop Myers. Would you drop Mooney from Myers? I love Darnell Mooney, but I think the fact that Devontae Adams looks like he's played his last down as a Raider, yeah, I think I would make that switch.
Yeah, I would too, just for that high floor piece in your roster. But for this week, McLaurin and JSN.
And a flex he needs too.
Oh, then I would go Tyreek here over Mooney. I like Mooney a lot, but I think
then
Tyreek.
I go Then I'll go Tyreek.
I go the first 3 there as well.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, yeah. So, but we will be live again tomorrow. We will be live on Sunday. Steve and I are going to do a DFS show on Saturday. But yeah, so that'll do it. Guys, go set your lineups. Go make some money. Until next time, stay thirsty. Be kind to one another. We'll catch you on the flip side. Cheers. Hit that button. Where's that button? Find it. Whistle dick. Where'd you go?
Yeah.
Where is it? This is awkward.